Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, David Riggleman, Communications Director for the City of Las Vegas. Coming up on this show, more vaccination sites make it simple to get your COVID vaccine, and residents make some big cleanup efforts in Ward 1. It's inspiring stuff. Of course, the councilman who represents Ward 1 is Brian Knudsen. He joins me now. How are you?
I'm tired, David. It's been a busy 4 to 6 weeks, somewhere in there. Everything's starting to open up, and I'm tired.
It has, and we have the proof here to show you have been going nonstop, you and your team. And you say, well, people just want to get out. They're itching to get outside. I think it's more than that. I think it's because there's a lot of hard work coming out of your ward office all the way around.
So it's a partnership. My office and the city and community partners all coming together because there's a lot of things to do and a lot of people want to get out. So it's a good time to be in Vegas right now.
You know, one thing is that you have an amazing work ethic. That is very, very sure, for sure, and we're going to prove that on the show today. But you know Ward 1 like the back of your hand. It's your stomping ground. For those of you out there not exactly sure where Ward 1 is located, well, don't worry, we're going to show you on the map here. Of course, appropriately enough, it's the area with the 1 on it, being Ward 1, that area in yellow. If you live in that area or work in that area, then you are in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And of course, if you're a resident there, then you are represented on the City Council by Brian Knudsen. And of course, that's where Las Vegas started. That's where the Springs Preserve is located, the springs that brought people to this area of town, this area of the valley in general, was right there. So you're the OG. The Ward 1 is really the OG of Las Vegas.
It's my home, and it's home to lots of people. And everyone who's been in Vegas lived in that area at some point in their life.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true. That's where our city all started. So, well, Councilman, right now we're on to the pandemic and trying to bring this thing to an end. You're on the Health District Board, been very, very active in getting out there and really encouraging people to get that vaccine. As we get to 60% of the population, eligible population, vaccinated, then all the restrictions go away. The social distancing goes away, the building capacity limits go away, and we can open up fully. So we're a ways away yet, but you've been out doing your part, helping get the word out. We had a vaccination pop-up site at Palace Station.
Correct.
On May 6th and 7th too, but I think 2 days,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And this was an opportunity for people, an easy opportunity for people to just come out and get their vaccines.
What I've learned, David, is I think pretty consistently people are really sick of elected officials telling them to get vaccinated. They're sick of elected officials in general. I'm a little sick of elected officials myself. I would say call your doctor, find out what's best for you. But I really would like Vegas to open up fully at 100%, and I think we're all ready to move on from the masks. And so call your doctor, figure out what's best for you, take advice from a medical professional that you trust. But there's lots of opportunities to get vaccines in our community right now, whether it be a pop-up event at Palace Station or Walmart or CVS or your doctor. Find a way to get information that makes you feel comfortable, but our community sure is ready to open up right now.
Yeah, great advice. And Councilman brings up a really good point. Talk to a medical professional. Go onto the Health District's website, snhd.org. Also, just talk to your doctor. Talk to a medical professional, like he says, that you trust, and get their take on the vaccine. It may change your mind if you're sitting on the fence or hesitant to do it. So,
and also just watch Vegas opening up, because the higher percentage we have in vaccinations, the more we get to open up, the more free we become, the more money we get to make, and the community is going to be better for that.
Absolutely.
So I think everyone watching probably feeling the same thing that my family's feeling, your family's feeling, is I'm ready to get back to normal.
Yeah, I saw an interesting thing that some medical professionals had put out. It was 16 diseases, illnesses that have been cured or eradicated virtually through vaccines. And we take these for granted: polio, hepatitis A and B, et cetera, and yet this time around, maybe because it happened so quickly, people are reticent to take the vaccine, but it certainly worked for many other diseases in the past and made us certainly safer all the way around.
That's right. And if don't get caught up in the politics, don't read the social media, just talk to a healthcare professional,
great
get
advice
that you trust, but I'm ready to open up.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm right there with you. It's been a long
been a long year.
Yeah, it sure has. Along those same lines, you posted this on Facebook, Councilman. You said, this morning I had the opportunity to join NFL Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz, UNLV President Whitfield, and Silver Summit Health Plan to tour our UNLV COVID-19 vaccination site. Again, this was an opportunity to talk to the medical professionals, talk to people who, shoot, the NFL Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz, get his opinion on this if you don't trust us, and get out there and see about see about getting a vaccination.
That's
So.
it. Everybody's doing their very best to make sure that people are aware of where they can get vaccines. And so it's really all over our community right now, whether it's Palace Station or UNLV or the Health District or Walmart. They're making pages overhead at the Walmart on Decatur, Decatur and Charleston in Ward 1. If you walk into a Walmart, they're making announcements saying, come get in line, get your vaccine.
Right.
And so it really is everywhere, and it's great to have a Hall of Famer NFL player come out and promote it.
Saw you shaking his hand. He's not a very small guy, it looks like.
Apparently, I'm a very small guy. I'm a small guy compared
He's
to
an
him.
NFL guy. They're all huge.
Yes, he was very nice, and Silver Summit was out there kind of promoting the access to vaccines that we have right now, which is great.
It's really key that you hit on that, Councilman, because when this first started, you had to make an appointment and go online generally to do that is maybe a little more complicated for some folks, because at that time the supply was having trouble keeping up with the demand. Now the supply has caught up, so a lot of times if you're just in the right place, Walmart or at a community event, we're going to try to be out there with the vaccine. If you haven't been vaccinated and you're interested, we'll make sure that happens then.
That's right.
So yeah,
That's
easy. Well, one of the reasons you said, Councilman, we want to get people vaccinated is so we can start opening up fully in the community. And you posted this on Facebook. You said, great joining neighbors in Ward 1 in reopening the Lieburn Senior Center. And this is a perfect example. This took place back on April 12th. But Lieburn, which is one of our key senior centers located right there at Jones and US 95, had closed for more than a year, 13 months. And so finally, after all that time, we got to reopen because we're starting to see the pandemic wind down. At least it appears to be. It
appears to be. And Trina is the coordinator there at Lieburn, and it was great to be there with her because there was tears of joy from all the seniors that came out. They've missed it for a year. We did a drive-through food distribution site there for a lot of those seniors, and they came out just to help us distribute food to other people who needed it. Those seniors, that's the home for them. For Trina, she was grateful to have a lot of those people come back in. And we're doing a breakfast there, I think, in 2 weeks where we get to sit down and talk and let people tell me all the things that they care about, which is fun for me because they really care about our community, and I love people who love Las Vegas.
Well, and you can't help but people who are passionate about something like that, they draw you in. And I think that seniors really had it rough during the pandemic because they had to be isolated, whether they were in assisted living or whether they were living on their own. They couldn't go to places like senior centers. They couldn't interact with other people. They were cut off in so many ways to slow the spread of the virus. And that is a tough situation to be in. If you're used to having people around you, used to going to a place like the Lieburn Center for community activities and to seeing your friends, and all of a sudden have that
taken away. Just overnight, everything was taken away, and now it's open again, and Trina's there with open arms and open doors, so it's really exciting.
The center, if you're not familiar, is located next to the Mirabelli Center. They're right there together, and that's located, again, right off of US 95 and Jones, next to the highway. Really easy to get to.
Very easy. Turn onto Fulton right there off of the 95 and Jones, and you take a windy road, and then there you are.
It is, and it's a mainstay in our community. So glad that they are back, and then also back, finally opened, just in time for the warm weather. You posted this on Facebook. Reopened. Today was the first day the water features are back in the city of Las Vegas. We used to call them something else, but we call them water features now. You know what we're talking about. Anyway, there they are, and this was just perfect timing because I think this weekend that we opened up, we got into the 90s or pretty close to it. So,
it was really hot that day. It's an amazing water feature. That's at Bob Bascom Park, and those are my kids playing in the background. So I've been telling people, new parents who haven't been to a water feature before, there's a button you have to push. So if you're a new parent and you're watching this, they're not broken, push the button, and then water just amazingly comes out of all the pipes, and children will run and get wet. Whether they're ready for it or not, they'll run and get wet. So it's really super fun for kids, and
we're trying to conserve water, folks, so we don't have it just running when there's nobody there. So yeah, you got to push the button.
You got to push the button.
Yeah, and of course,
well worth it. And I'm pretty sure we recycle that as gray water. It goes into our water treatment pollution control facility and gets reused on the grass.
Yeah, so there it is, and I think our own Steve Horlock, some of the great drone footage. Yeah, there it is, right there. Look at that. Thank you, Steve. That is good stuff, and we get it from all angles here, but that's a beautiful facility. It really is. And so glad that it's finally opened up again.
Yes.
Yeah.
My children are very happy.
Yeah, I think everybody that got out there really enjoyed that. And then, Councilman, I love this too. You also posted this on Facebook. You said, "Happy Saturday. Today, Team Knudsen joined local youth groups in the city of Las Vegas to help beautify Ward 1 neighborhoods and dispose of trash in our community." So again, I don't think you guys ever take a break. You just like work 7 days a week. Is that the deal? Because look at this army of people that came out here to help do everything from painting the curbs, as you see there, to picking up trash. I got an old couch going into the dumpster, and on and on and on. That's an amazing group.
So we have a lot of people to thank. So Mac McKnight, he's not a Ward 1 resident, but he spends a lot of his time in Ward 1. And he organized the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They're missionaries. Hundreds of them have been stationed in Las Vegas during the pandemic with nowhere to go and nothing to do. And so we've been trying to give them projects. And so this is the third one we've done now. Turned out great. Dorian Stonebarger from my office really did most of the work. They came out, they painted curbs, they painted fire hydrants, and then a lot of them wanted to do more. And so we went knocking on doors and took people's things that they couldn't get rid of. It's an older neighborhood, some older folks that needed a little bit of help moving things out of their house that they couldn't move themselves. And so amazing volunteers from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that went and picked up old couches and old mattresses and threw them into dumpsters that were provided by the City of Las Vegas and our Community Services Department. So a whole team of people to make that happen.
That is a really, really great feature, because sometimes you got stuff in your house you'd like to get rid of, but you need like 4 guys to help you carry it. And if you don't have the 4 guys around, that's pretty tough. So
and now you have these young missionaries who are anxious and want something to do and want to give back to the community. So it's a great thing. And Mac McKnight really kind of pulled all those young people together. And just we're going to be doing that throughout Ward 1. So I'm excited about that, and it's what we should be doing right now.
Well, thank you, Mac. Really appreciate that. And folks, we love volunteers. I say this every time, because when you have that many people that are concentrating on an area, boy, it makes a huge difference. And the city, we've got great grounds crews. We've got great crews that go out in the parks and clean up the streets and et cetera. But when you have that many people, you can get to things that our city folks, it would take them years to get to. So,
and it's a good way to meet your neighbors, meet your friends out that you've been locked away for a year. So get out, volunteer, give some of your time, and get to know people. It's a fun way to engage.
And if you need an opportunity, just talk to the Ward 1 folks, because they will hook you up.
We got lots of things to do.
They do. Case in point, you had a neighborhood revitalization painting walls and taking care of this. This was over in the area near Rancho and Okie, kind of in that area, right?
Yes.
And these walls get graffitied, and so look at this. We're getting out there and we're going to take care of that. That wall looks great.
So this is really all Jerry Walker in our operations and maintenance department. A lot of our city knows who Jerry is because he's personable, and they'll call him and he'll call them back. And I get this request quite often: is, can we paint the walls? And for many years, the city, it just was its private property. We're not going to do that. But I think now we've kind of rethought how we can make these neighborhoods special and bring them back to life. And there's so many neighborhoods in Ward 1 where these walls that face major intersections really do need to be repainted, and it's hard to get 25 neighbors on the same page doing it at the same time. So we send out mailers and say, would you like your wall painted? If they don't disagree, we're going to paint the wall, make it all uniform. So we have several more coming throughout the next few weeks before it gets too hot to do it. I'm really excited because it really is a facelift for Ward 1. Really excited about it.
It is, and you know, the other thing too, Councilman, is that sometimes those walls are pretty tall, and neighbors aren't going to be able to get way up there. You're going to need even more than a ladder. You need like a bucket truck to get to some of them, and to have the city bring those pieces of equipment out there so that you can get to that. It's a big deal.
And it helps with neighborhood pride, because it's the back of your wall you don't see, but everybody else does see it. And so I think I'm really grateful that we allocated some funding for that, and we have a great team at the city that can do it a lot faster than individuals can in their own homes.
And again, if maybe you'd like to see some of that done in your area, before the end of the show, we'll tell you how to reach out to the councilman's office, the city in general, and give us your information, and we'll see about getting you on the calendar and getting out there.
Add you to the list.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Very much so. And then, shoot, it didn't stop there. That was on April 23rd. April 24th, the very next day, you're out at Pioneer Park planting trees for Earth Day.
We planted 25 trees. And so I brought my son out there. He had to do a Earth Day homework assignment for class, and so that was how he contributed.
Already? He's just a little guy, and they're already got his mouth planting trees and
He's
stuff?
got to do something. I got to keep him busy. That's why I'm so busy. I got to keep these kids busy. So it's planting trees. We had a whole bunch of volunteers. It was in partnership with Get Outdoors Nevada. 25 trees. Again, the Parks and Rec and the maintenance crews here at the City of Las Vegas, they did all the heavy lifting, and then we had probably 40, 50 volunteers come out and shovel all the dirt back in and pat it down and make it look pretty, and the irrigation was already set up. So Pioneer Park now has 25 new trees. Wow. And picked up micro trash, and it was, again, it's a great way for people to get to know each other and meet someone new and have a good time.
Yeah, micro trash are those little bits of paper, cigarette butts, things that our grounds crews could never get to when they're coming in there mowing the grass. But you get 75 volunteers or whatever it is picking stuff up like that. Boy, it just sparkles after it's done. Councilman, tell everybody out there, where is Pioneer Park exactly? Where's it located so that they can kind of zero in on area town we're talking about generally?
It's a very hidden park that's very hard for me to describe, so I wish you wouldn't have asked me that question. So if I were to take the 95 and I'd get off at Rainbow and I would take a left and then I turn into one of the little neighborhoods there and take a windy street and then there it is. So I could drive there, but I can't tell you exactly where it is.
Exactly, and that's my whole point, is that that's a park that's one of the hidden gems in our city because it's not kind of out there in the middle of everything. But to the people who live around it,
they probably don't want me to give the address away.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know they appreciated all the help getting those trees planted and the trash and everything cleaned up.
There's a lot of green space in there. There's a lot of place for people to set up picnics and play soccer and play badminton. It's a really hidden away park. So I feel better that I can't remember the address now.
You know what? And here's the thing, folks. Our website, Nevada.gov, all of our parks facilities are on there, and you'll be surprised at how many of them might be closer to your house than you think they are. So you have to check that out. And then, Councilman, you posted this on Facebook. You said, Team Knudsen had a great time at the Easter in the 146 event with the LVMPD Bolden Area Command. Of course, that's the Metropolitan Police Department. There's Dorian and Carl from your office. Not the Easter bunnies. Dorian's on the right there, and Carl's on the left. And then you got the Easter bunny. And, of course, the Bolden Area Command is part of the Metro Police Department, which encompasses some of your ward, right?
So Bolden Area Command is most of Ward 1, and they have a community engagement team of 4 officers, a sergeant and three officers. And so they're trying really, really hard to reach out to as many people as they can and restore, build, maintain relationships with the community. And so in Ward 1, if you want to get to know the police officers that are driving down the streets, feel free to call them or call me because I can connect you to them. And they come out to the neighborhood events with us. They come out usually to the park cleanings and put a shovel in the ground and get to know the neighbors, because that's how we make this community safer.
Exactly.
They'll have to know each other.
They call that community-oriented policing. It's where the police aren't just coming to your house because they need to arrest someone or deal with a problem. They know you in advance. They get to know the people. You get to know them. Talk about community issues. Hey, we've had this going on or that going on. People tend to speed up and down the thoroughfare here. Is there something we can do about that? But
and they're gonna tell you, to help keep your neighborhood safe, get to know your neighbors. Talk to the people around you. Keep your lights on. Keep your shrubs trimmed. And if you see something, say something. Reach out and let people know. Yeah,
absolutely. And again, they're trying to be our partners in the community versus our adversaries. Yeah, so good stuff. And then, Councilman, I want to tell everybody about this. Back on April 26th, you had a big shredding and prescription drop-off event. These are great. This is just in time. The tax deadline got extended into May this year because of the pandemic. So this is a perfect time to get rid of all those old returns, perfect time to drop off those prescription meds that have been sitting in the closet that you don't want to, or in the medicine cabinet you don't want to throw into the trash, or certainly don't flush down the toilet. Great opportunity to drop all that off, get rid of all those things, and so you protect your identity and the environment at the same time.
And very popular events. So the questions that I get asked that are relevant is, you drive through, we pick up your box of paper that you want shredded. We dump it in, put the box back in your trunk. We shut your trunk. You drive away. If you have prescription drugs, we have someone from Department of Public Safety, DPS there. They take your drugs and they incinerate it later on.
They do.
So you don't have to worry about that. One question that I learned about is, if you have batteries, what do you do with unused batteries? You can give those to Target. New piece of information for me. I learn something new every time.
Wow. So just
Don't throw away your batteries.
Don't throw your batteries.
They have disposal bins at Target that you can drop them off at.
All right, well, there you go.
Yeah.
See, you're going to learn something every time watching this program. No question about it. And then, Councilman, I want to tell everybody, too, speaking of opportunities to get out there, if you're looking for a project, you want to volunteer, made to order here, Ward 1 is going to have a park and trail cleanup June 12th. And this is going to be going on. This is a park and trail cleanup. This will be from 7:30 in the morning to 9:30. Mirabelli Park, Councilman was describing that's near US 95 in Jones, and then the Bonanza Trail, which runs right past there, right? It connects there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can actually take the trail starting up at Rampart and take it all the way into downtown Las Vegas. And so this is kind of the middle part of that trail. And so it's great to get to know the trail system.
It is.
And June 12th is just one of many, many park cleanups we do. And so if you want to get engaged, there's lots of opportunities to do that.
Lots to do. And what's a good time of year to get out and explore those trails before it gets real ultra hot, too.
Yes, and we do it. We start at 7:30. So usually we've been doing it at 9 o'clock, but now it gets too warm, so we go 7:30 in the morning. So it's come out, get a cup of coffee, get your volunteer hours in, meet a new friend, and then you can go home and jump in your pool.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, along those same lines, too, City of Las Vegas has a really intricate trail system all through the city. It's crisscrossing everywhere. Again, it's on our website, Nevada.gov. Check it out. Great place to walk the dog, ride your bike, go for a run, whatever you want to do. So
in a pandemic, if you walk through it, it's about 10 miles to go from Rampart and Alta, basically, all the way down into downtown Las Vegas, and you can stop off and grab a brew in our new brewery Row. Brewery Row, yeah. So lots of fun opportunities.
Exactly. It's a great place to live, Las Vegas. That's why we're here. So, well, Councilman, great job. You guys had a lot going on, and I know the next 6 weeks it's going to be just as hectic. So, kudos to you.
It's great to be in Las Vegas. It's fun, and got to stay busy.
And I think you've hired a new person in your office, I think. We're going to maybe get to meet that individual later on. Maybe
Maria's going to help us out for a few hours a day because the number of scheduling requests are getting significantly more. And so we're struggling to keep up with the hours in the day now. So yeah, she's going to help us.
He's got a great team, Dorian, Carl, and now Maria help him out. So good people. And so along those same lines, we want to tell everybody out there, hey, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilman Knudsen, you can always find him on Facebook and Twitter. You can also contact the councilman or his staff just by picking up the phone, 702-229-6405, or you can send him an email. His address is bknudsen@LasVegasNevada.gov, and he or one of those great folks will get right back to you. So, Councilman, great job. Keep up the good work. I guess you got to just get busier. There's nothing going on in your ward. You know?
I got to keep my kids busy. It's all about that. On the weekends, the kids got to stay busy. So we're gonna
take them along.
They're gonna love Las Vegas just like I do.
Good for you. Good for you. A lot going on. Again, your work ethic is always. I get tired just watching what you guys are up to. So good stuff. And we'll have you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 1. I can't hardly wait to see what you guys will have going on that next time around. And we'll tell everybody about it. So
that's great. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you so much. And don't miss our next show beginning on May 20th with Ward 3 City Councilwoman Olivia Diaz. You can catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire now. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks again for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.